Welcome to my interview for BCM303. The person I decided to interview for this project is Janine Vanderget. I spoke with her over Zoom and she gave me some amazing insights into the business and also some advice for my group project. Okay, so thank you so much, Janine, for sitting down with me for this interview. So, if you'd like to just start off to introduce yourself and what you do with your businesses and your products.
Yeah. Hi, Mia. Thanks for choosing to interview me.
Janine has an Etsy shop where she designs multiple digital products such as planners that you can print out or have on a device, and small business tools such as finance trackers, invoices, welcome packets, and intake forms. Janine mentioned that she has designed many versions of these products and has many ideas to keep up with the changing market. So, do you consider yourself a freelancer?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So, um, quoting from a text that we use in class, collaborating, competing, co working, and coalescing artists, freelancers, and social entrepreneurs as the new subjects of the creative economy. There's a quote inside the text: freelancers have been repeatedly advocated as trailblazers of a on demand economy based on distributed forms of work. Do you think you agree with this statement as freelancers have are trailblazers for an economy based of distributed work?
I would wholeheartedly agree with that.
Janine explains that being a freelancer, you can meet the market for a product instantly, and you don't have to answer to anyone else, you can just create the product that is suitable for your business. Creativity also allows you to develop products, but also can give you an opportunity to potentially make something that hasn't been done before. So for your digital products, what platforms or things do you use to create your products? Janine uses a multitude of platforms for her business such as Canva, Instagram, Jumpshare, email, Zoom, and Pinterest, and she is starting to learn Infinity instead of Adobe. But she did say Canva is hands down the main tool that she uses to create all of her products. For your products, do you feel like you have a target audience? Janine feels like her target audience is women led small businesses, usually solo entrepreneurs. She feels like small businesses that want to show their expertise off in an aesthetic way to show off their businesses in a professional and creative way is her main target audience. For your products as well, what message or feeling do you think your products convey to your audience, and how do you think it shows its messages or feelings? Janine wants her customers that purchase her products to feel confident in what they're giving to their own customers. This feeling comes from using different colours, layouts, fonts, photos, and design style. So, how do you deal with things and your approach to a product when you get like a new idea? Janine's approach to a project is solely going with the creativity and the flow of the idea. This unlocks a whole different world in another idea, and she has no expectation of if the idea is good or if it will turn out good, but she just goes with the flow of the concept. She also discussed using Instagram and Pinterest as a form of research. So, how does collaboration play with your ideation? So, like your development of ideas and development of the production processes as well. To summarize, Janine explained that in this role there isn't a lot of collaboration, but she uses other forms of collaboration such as using social media and looking at other freelancers to gain ideas. She is also starting business coaching, so in that business, she explained that she'll be collaborating with her clients. So in this class, we have been given a creative brief for our final projects and throughout the semester as well. Um, our creative brief is we are living on the verge of immense challenges and opportunities that will change the way we live. We need to create an expo experience that engages participants in a fact-based dreaming of their possible futures. So my group and I, excuse me, my group and I have looked at going into the area of media truth. So focusing on a future world where media is ethical and trustworthy, especially with marginalized groups such as the queer and Black community. So if you were given this brief, how would you address it and how would you feel like you would engage an audience in a fact-based streaming of their possible futures?
My final question for Janine was the biggest one. The first thing that we discussed was her advice and opinion on my group and I's idea for the expo. She made some amazing points on how a lot of journalists and news media, without realising, come with their own bias. So she said it would be great to live in a future where there isn't any bias in stories. A quote from Janine that I thought was really good was, "I want to find out their truth and not my bias that is getting brought forward or what I feel like the agenda should be." An idea that Janine had for my group and I was to potentially add to the expo the traditional Indigenous stories that were once told. That was their truth, going back to basics and back to history and how we tell stories. Janine also explained that when challenges evolve and creative solutions become apparent, the stories are shared and not scandalized to sell stories. Lastly, I asked Janine if she was the one to do the expo, what would her idea be? She came up with an amazing idea where she would focus on cancelling hustle culture and focusing on self-care. She sees hustle culture to be a massive problem in the world, and in the future she hopes people can understand that there needs to be a sense of wellness, as she feels like with creativity we can dream of a better situation. So she feels nurturing self-care and stop hustle culture can be amazing for the future. In her interactive experience, she wants to have all the senses touched by using a lot of sensory things, like fluffy walls, smells of lavender, sounds of waves crashing, etc. As she mentioned, a lot of people are not in touch with nature and wants to have nature be a part of this idea. Especially with most people living in the city, they are out of touch with nature and how amazing nature can be to bring in self-care for free. Another idea was a VR headset for people to see where they end up with looking after themselves and creating a world where wellness is a focus. I had an amazing time interviewing Janine. She helped me to think deeply a lot about the subject and the creative brief. I found we had a lot of chemistry and the conversation just bounced back and forth. Engaging in conversation with Janine highlighted the importance of open-mindedness, as it allowed me to understand the world through Janine's lens. Learning from Janine's challenges and achievements not only expanded my understanding, but also enriched my own outlook and got me excited for my future and gave me confidence in my future as a creative professional.